Welcome everybody. My name is Michael, and today we're discussing about SBF, FTX, Solana going up, meaning John J. Ray III, the interim CEO of FTX, has said there's a potential possibility that 90% of the funds that were lost through FTX might be able to get repaid. But there's a big but. The huge issue is the IRS is saying, hey, actually, FTX owes us a lot more, $46 billion in taxes. Yikes. So, sorry, I'm feeling a little under the weather today. Oh, passing by Motorworks, and they had a nice GTR there. I hate getting sick because it's a waste of time, and it's like I'm always upset with my body. Like, come on, just fight this off faster. But I mean, I felt it coming on yesterday hard. So thankfully, it's not like fever. I don't know, but I do feel the chills and stuff, and that's not great. But anyways, FTX. Oh boy, the saga is finally coming to an end pretty soon. This has happened time and time again. This is similar to Mt. Gox, if you remember the early days of cryptocurrency, where you had this huge exchange in Japan where a French guy who was running it was a little incompetent. Supposedly there was a hack, and the reason for the incompetent hack was one of the safeguards failed, and you had hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin that were lost, just vanished, right? So what was left in the exchange after so many years with Bitcoin going up, essentially you had most of the people, most of the victims who were now able to get back that money. Now, the problem is Bitcoin went up so much that if they had that Bitcoin, and that's a big if they held on to it without selling it, they could have had 5, 10, 15 times more. But the fact that you have this potential scam or just incompetent hack or something happened where these people lost millions of dollars, and for the idea that you're able to get that money back where usually you get nothing, and if you do, it's pennies on the dollar, where potentially you could get almost everything back that you lost. That's a lot of money we're talking about. That's something that's incredible. You're getting back your investment, which is unheard of. Well, similar case to FTX now. And some of these exchanges with cryptocurrency, since there's so much volatility, this could go the other way. But thankfully, SBF, one of his favorite coins was Solana. And Solana just doubled in price, meaning you have billions of dollars that were just added to the valuation of FTX. You don't really see that in the normal traditional technological financial world. It's mainly cryptocurrency where this volatility can work both ways. But it is something that, for the victims in this case, they might be able to get the money back. Hey, so Solana is currently trading at $41.34, and it hit a peak of $45. In just the past 90 days alone, there were past periods around 2.5 months ago where it was below $20. We're talking $19, $18, and at its peak, $45 for a coin that has a current market cap of $17 billion plus. And the reason it dropped for $45 is because FTX has been busy moving around over the past 24 hours, tens of millions of dollars of Solana to Kraken, to Binance, to other exchanges. It's kind of funny, you have an exchange selling on other exchanges. Wow, you know, that's something you don't really see on a day-to-day basis, right? So with that, it is right now the best performing token of the year. Wow, look at that. Would you believe that? Literally, this news comes out, what's been going on over the past week with FTX co-founder, I mean, really the main founder, SBF, guilty on all charges, potentially facing 115 years. But hey, FTX's bet paid off. Now, Solana is doing pretty well. Now, some other bets didn't pay off. Certainly not enough to make up for this one token, but hey, this is a pretty big win. So here's what's going on. The IRS, being an administrative claimee, would have precedence over everybody else. Those who withdrew over $250,000, aka institutional investors such as hedge funds that withdrew 9 days before the collapse of FTX, before the bankruptcy, millions of dollars, could see up to a 15% pay cut in what they already withdrew, meaning they'd be in the negative. They'd lose money. Now, other players, such as the legal counsel and executives of FTX, will lose out on hundreds of millions of dollars. And on top of that, around $900 million of assets, including the $100 million penthouse in the Bahamas, is still in control and under control of FTX. And some of these assets are appreciating. $500,000 stake in the AI company Anthropic. It has now risen to around $4 to $40.5 billion of value. So that's another. That one was an even better bet than Solana, because Solana originally they had around $2 billion, and then it collapsed to $650 million after the collapse of FTX because they held 65 million SOL. So if you spell it out like that, it doesn't sound that great. But with that, obviously, everything big, major that happens in cryptocurrency affects everything else. The price of Bitcoin, the price of Ethereum fell, altcoins fell. And obviously, if a major exchange is falling that holds your tokens, it's not good news. But with that, right now, they're sitting at around $2.6 billion. Over $1 billion it drove up within the past couple of weeks, really. But the value steadily over the course of the past year has gone from 650 million to 2.6 billion. So actually they're profiting compared to their initial bet. Not as great as, hey, starting from 650 million, but still good bet nonetheless. So Anthropic AI is doing a lot better. By the way, if you're interested in AI, check out my artificial intelligence channel. It's down below. It's the hype nowadays, but for those who are in the know, AI, just as with cryptocurrency, really, it goes way back. AI, we're talking even before the year 2000. We're talking 1990s, 1980s. It goes back even further. Same thing with cryptography for cryptocurrency. The ideas of a Bitcoin, even though it wasn't named that, were around for more than 20 plus years, actually more than 30 plus years. So it's pretty crazy. With that, the IRS, a lot of lawyers are estimating that the IRS has $44 million distributed through 45 different claims, of which some of those claims might be duplicates or overinflated values. And it's probably not $44 billion, because that's more than 4 times. That's more than the company was ever worth. It doesn't make sense. It's not just taxes, but it's government claims and fees and whatnot. And probably what's going to happen is the IRS will settle for a much smaller sum. But second of all, because they'd rather take something than nothing, right? But second of all, some of those claims are just overinflated. So there's going to be a lot of legal battles. So right now, the CEO is estimating that around 90% of the value of these assets can be returned to clients. Not 100%, but most of it. But it depends, because if the IRS wants their cut, there's going to be a smaller sum to pay out. Now, here's the interesting thing. You might have, just as in the case of Mt. Gox, which we talked about earlier, that was interesting because that went way up over what the company was ever worth and what the company owed and everything. And you might have that where Solana keeps going up or everything keeps going up, or it might crash. But again, these things in court take such a long time that there's so much that still could happen over the next year. First of all, we don't even know the sentencing yet. That's going to be 4 or 5 months from now for SBF. And that could have an impact on the news too. Who knows? With that, just want to thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. I ain't being sick. The most annoying thing is, it just keeps dripping down and it feels like allergies and whatnot. But it's your ears plugging up. It just sounds so weird. Anyways, have a good one. Take care. And check out my AI channel. Bye.